Hi, everybody.
Hi. Somebody's really excited today. We're so happy to see you guys. Happy New Year 2021. We're off to another start with some more episodes of Draw With Me Kids Edition. And today we're drawing?
We're drawing snowman.
We're drawing snowmen.
And I'm drawing on canvas with paint.
She is. She's going to work with some acrylic paints.
This is thin.
It's a very tiny brush that's for details. You're going to show it off to everybody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll get a do on a canvas.
I am going to take you guys through maybe drawing this guy. Does anybody recognize who that is? There's her paints.
I have so many blues. Look at that, guys.
So, this is going to be a really easy, relaxed Draw With Me Kids right now because I think I have seen some amazing things that you guys have done just drawing with simple shapes all last year. If you're new to us and joining us, we have two. Oh my gosh, you know who that is. I'm pretty sure everybody knew who that was. Olaf. We're going to show you how to draw Olaf actually too. But yeah, if you're new to the stream and you haven't watched it before, we only have two rules here, is to be kind to each other and to be kind to your own art because, you know, sometimes accidents happen and they turn out to be really cool things and you can explore it and change it and make it your own. So, that being said, here we go. Snowmen are snow women and snow people or snow dogs or whatever you want to make out of snow is pretty easy. The basic shapes that we are going to use today are circles and ovals. So you guys are probably familiar with this kind of snowman where you just draw a circle and a slightly bigger circle underneath and an even bigger circle underneath that.
I'm also going to be showing how to make scarves really quickly.
You going to put a scarf on your snowman? Yeah. And show us how to do that? Are you doing that right now?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I'm going to let Sophia take over here quickly to show us how to put a scarf on your snowman. I'm going to follow along with that quick, and then we'll get to Olaf.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a blue scarf. I'm going to use my paintbrush.
You can use any color you want. Sophia's just decided to choose blue. Miss Rainbow's decided to choose blue.
My paintbrush. I'm going to grab the blue that I want, and I'm going to draw.
I'm excited my paints are being used.
Like a smile shape below the head of your snowman.
So, if you followed along with me to just do that quick shape we all know, you might want to do something just like that. You can erase where it overlaps. Looks like he's got a neck brace on. I like it. It's kind of what a scarf is, isn't it?
Just need to clean off my brush.
Okay. I realize we don't have all of our lights on. We've got some of our lights on, not all of them. You're painting by the sunlight and your big light. That's okay. I think that one of the next steps Miss Rainbows is going to show you is probably to do a knot on the side, like a semicircle, right?
Oh, no, I'm gonna.
You're going to do something different? You show us. Show us.
So, next you're going to, over the front of your snowman, you're going to make one long...
That's what you're going
to do. Like vertical line, one long line like that down. And one a little bit away that's a bit smaller.
What do we call that?
That's...
Oh, I see. You're doing lines because you're painting. In my case, people who are following me and drawing with pencils, you're doing two parallel lines, means lines that are side by side. And you want one that's long, and then you want another two parallel lines next to each other because that is the edges of your scarf. Now, if you're drawing like me, and you want to sort of show them overlapping, just draw those lines up over top of the scarf and erase where it overlaps. And you can try to draw it if you want it to look really naughty. Not that kind of naughty, but tie it in a knot. You can sort of just add a little circle there where part of it comes out and maybe even the part of it comes out there. If you want to tie it in a knot. If you just want it over.
Mix paints today.
You do get to mix paints. So this is basic snowman, and if you want to make him with his eyes, you can add 2 round eyes. You can add a triangle for the carrot nose, if that's what you want to put for the nose. You could even just do a round dot for the nose. This is your snowman. You can make it any which way you want. But if you want to make Olaf, I'll show you that too. This is all the basic stuff on a regular snowman. It's going to come in handy for later for Olaf. And you can either have pieces of stone, coal, maybe you have a branch that looked like a really good smile that you put in. Because I know there's so many materials people use to make their snowmen.
I would
or snow woman or snow person.
About a little boy that was making snowmen, but the animals would always take the snowman parts away.
Oh my goodness.
So that he used a ton of different things to make his snowman, like apples, carrots, cucumbers, all kinds of things to make his snowman.
Do you remember what the book was called?
No, I don't.
That's okay. Sometimes if we could remember those things, we can share with our friends, but we don't know what it is. That's okay. So then you want to have your stick arms, which are just 2 straight lines. And if you want to explore textures of wood, you can make them a little bit squiggly, as long as they're mostly parallel, and that can give you look like a twig or a branch. Also going to come in handy when we're doing
I'll be right
Olaf.
back. I should get probably a paper towel. This is better than a Kleenex. Wow, you're prepared.
I'm an artist. Welcome to my studio. I'm also a
I didn't
klutz.
even know that was there, by the way.
I'm a klutz, so I have lots of cleanup materials. Not to say that you were being klutzy over there, because that was quite the opposite. So I draw the 2 parallel lines, kind of like a rectangle or maybe a little bit of a cone triangle to get those arms. And I put the little bumpies on for the textures, because I like doing that. And then I just draw 2, 3, 4, 3 lines, 4 lines, 5 lines, whatever you like to do for things. This is your basic snowman, snow person, snow girl. What I used to like to do, is because I was a huge Star Wars fan, is I would put Princess Leia buns on my snowman to make it a Princess Leia snow person. And it could also look like earmuffs, really. Let's face it, those could be earmuffs. So really the basic shapes of a snowman are 3 circles that are getting slightly larger as you go to make your circular stacked pyramid-like thing with your snowman. So keeping that in mind, the really cool thing about Olaf is, well, Olaf is a snowman, and he's built almost exactly the same way. Except to give him more expression in his head is start out with a big old oval or an egg shape. And it's a little bit taller than it is wide. And that's his head. And then you draw a small, and Olaf is made up of round squarer objects. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. Is that even a term? They're not really like a big circle. They're sort of more like a square with rounded edges. Like a marshmallow almost, if you looked at them.
Maybe that's why he likes marshmallows.
Does Olaf like marshmallows?
No, because in his song he likes summer with marshmallows.
Oh, that's true. He does sing about marshmallows in hot chocolate and stuff. And marshmallows, that's true. It's been a while since I've seen that movie. And we saw the second one too. So you're just sort of building the same shapes. You could use a circle, for his bottom. And I might have just disproportioned Olaf a little bit, but you'll see why I did. Usually he's no wider than his head on top. And I did him a little bit wider because after we get these 3 stacked shapes, so the oval is always in the front, so you can sort of see the chin. The middle part overlaps the bottom, and the bottom will overlap the feet once we get there. So the feet are just more snowballs attached. There's Olaf's feet. So far, it's looking like a snowman and maybe just a little bit like Olaf. What's really going to set him off is the fact that Olaf has the biggest snowman smile. And you do that by going at the halfway mark of the oval. So I'll put a little dot in there. You don't need to put the dot in there. That's just so I can show you visually. And make 2 semicircles that sort of go on the way down. It's going to look like maybe I put those Leia buns on his cheeks. Which is kind of what I did.
By the way.
Yep.
Here's a painter tip from me.
Are you discovering something?
Yeah.
I love when you share that you've discovered something.
If you're painting with like black or something, and let's say you are having some issues because you're running out of black paint on the canvas and it looks kind of brownish in some spots, take the paintbrush and dab it a little bit over top of the brownie spot, or like the part where there's not as much paint.
Yeah.
And then what it does is it makes, like you see here that I don't have as much black. I'll just finish this.
I see what
it's kind of browny in some spots. If I just pad my brush down on the line, it goes to black again. It
does. It's because you're adding another layer of pigment. You're just sort of adding a little bit more in there. So there's a lot of paint that gets stuck on your paintbrush, and if you dab it, you're sort of helping release it to get it on the canvas. Sometimes just a nice light stroke will not get all of the paint off your paintbrush. That's a good tip, Sophia. Thank you. So once you've got those semicircles on the side like that for Olaf's thing, I made his chin just a little bit longer because I'm going to give him a really big smile. You can erase the lines that were here. So you notice I took those out. The lines that were right here. Whoop. Took those out with an eraser. I like to put his eyes in just so because his eyes are a pretty big part of his character. They're just 2 round circles. And I find that the lines are thicker on the top or more emphasized on the top. Like he's got eyeliner on up top. He's just got a little extra something up there. And he has 2 eyebrows, which are just half moons, just on the top of his head there. And you can make him look any way you want. You can put his eyeballs looking up at that other snowman going, "Hey, buddy." You can put his eyeballs looking straight ahead, which I think I'll do, so he's looking at you guys. And because I'm drawing him from the front, it's a perspective lesson, his carrot isn't going to be as much of a triangle. It's going to be a diamond shape.
That would have been very helpful if you'd done that a few minutes ago.
Oh, but your guy looks like he's 3D. What was that? It looks like he's a 3/4 view. 3/4 view. So I'm looking at you guys front, which is what I'm getting Olaf to do, which is why I did his nose a bit of a diamond. But if I were to turn Olaf or my snow person's head slightly, that's a 3/4 view. So you sort of still see my eyeball, or still should be able to see my eyeball there. And my eye, more of my eye here. And it changes the perspective of things. Now you can see my nose has got a bit of a triangle shape from the side. If I go all the way to the side, this is called, hopefully I'm still in the camera. I can't see anything anymore. How about I do it this way? Then I can see this way, because you can do it this way. This is called a half profile. So you only see half of the face, one eye.
We did that lesson.
I know we did that lesson, but some people might be new and they might not have gotten that lesson. That's all right. So, Sophia, what you've got is, with a bit of the triangle, 3/4 profile. And even making Olaf in this thing. I'm putting a little dot right there to indicate the tip of the old carrot nose. So even if you have Olaf in this perspective, you could theoretically change him slightly to a 3/4 by making his nose just that much more of a triangle like that on the side. And just sort of makes it look like he's just moved his head slightly, just by changing the shape. Just by making that from a diamond to a triangle. Kind of cool, eh? I'm going to make him look face on, which is a little bit, actually looking a little bit weird for me, but that's okay.
Okay.
I'm going to go with him. And because, actually maybe I'm going to make that carrot just a little bit more like pointing out this way. I'll take that dot off and move it down just a little bit. I'm going to change his perspective a bit. I'm going to make his big old smile that Olaf is known for. And what does Olaf have that I'm missing right now? That he's also known for. Oh wow, that's a really big smile. I might change that just a bit. Does anybody know what Olaf has that I don't have on there?
I know.
You know? Well, is it IS? His teeth?
Yeah.
Which is actually a big thing of
And
snow.
you need to do his little twig hair.
Oh, we'll get to the twig hair, don't worry. I won't forget the twig hair. Just on his face right now. So it's sort of like a little rectangle that has the same angle, parallel, remember? Talking about parallel, two lines that run together, parallel to the bottom of his smile. So the walls of that trapezoid follow the same thing.
Learning math.
That's right. We got some
shape.
teeth and or some hair and some buttons to put on there too, and his
Mommy.
arms.
We're learning math.
We're learning math because we're learning shapes. I know. But see, this is why math is important, even if you're an artist. Because you need to know your shapes and angles and parallel and perpendicular and all that kind of stuff. All right, so E, we're not going to disappoint with hair, buttons, and teeth. I'm sure we got both of you there. We have both E and L there. Hi, guys. So the hair on Olaf sort of just goes up wispy stripes, but if you've ever looked at a picture of Olaf, Olaf's hair is made of twigs. So when you're doing his hair, you can sort of think a little bit more jagged lines, small jagged lines, but that gives him his hairpiece. Because normally, that makes him look like he's a little bit, whoa, really wild, but that's okay.
He's very, 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 very,
He might be really excited. He's like, oh my gosh, you're back. Because normally we do hair really wispy like that, but Olaf's hair is actually made of twigs. So you can be a little bit rougher on how you do your
I've got a
twig
cover
hair.
of water right now in my water thing.
Uh-oh.
That's really turquoise.
I'm putting a little semicircle in the bottom of his mouth to look like his
Can you
tongue
guys
too.
see that turquoise in there?
It looks really dark and mucky.
No, it's turquoise.
Oh, I see it there in that light, because the light's catching it the right way.
Yeah.
You like that color. So his buttons, he has... Uh-oh, I gotta look at my picture. 2 buttons on the bottom. So they're buttons made out of coal, so they can be a little bit more like a rounded square. And if you want to get really cool with texture, again, you can sort of just shake your pen a little bit and gets that rough texture of the coal. And you can't really see my hand doing that, but there's the buttons. That one's a little almost too even up there, isn't it? Let's try it again. It's okay. That's why I got an eraser. I am doing it digital, so it's a little bit like having a super special eraser.
For me, I can't erase much.
No, you
because
can't.
I'm on canvas.
The cool thing about painting with acrylic paints is that titanium white is very opaque. So you can actually layer on top with a bit of titanium white, let it dry, and go back in color. But you're not going to get to do that in half an hour, unfortunately. It doesn't dry that quickly. So I'm like how you're experimenting with the paint. It's really cool. Are you guys experimenting with different different mediums today? Are you trying crayons or markers or pencils? I like seeing what everybody does. So, like we did with our other snowman, start off with 2 lines that are parallel. And because Olaf is made out of sticks, like we would expect to find sticks or twigs on the ground, any movement that he does with his hands is going to have a bend on his elbow, but he's not going to be able to sort of do anything more flexible than 2 straight lines, which is a bit like our own. I'm just going to make him have his hands down. Boop.
Mommy,
Yeah.
I have the paper towel?
Yes, you may. Would you like to keep it over there?
Yeah.
Okay. So I do 2 parallel lines just to get that stick side, and they can be as uneven as you want because they're made of twigs, and bark is really rough, and you don't have to be particular about how straight or precise those lines are. That's what I love about doing things that have nature to them. It's a lot more forgiving than if you're trying to do like a robot that's very precise and even. So sometimes I even like to make robots that are a little bit more organic, so much more chance to their design, potential for texture and strainedness. I had to move him over because I realized it made him get kind of. Now Olaf, that looked. There we go. So that's really roughly how you build Olaf, and you can sort of turn, if you think about your Olaf, if you wanted to do him from the side, his nose would be a triangle out to the side. You might only see half of his eye and half of his thing there. You wouldn't have to change the side of that oval too much because of seeing it from the side. So that's how one way you could change your perspective of Olaf. Maybe you see his mouth is open slightly. That's how you can build a snowman with Olaf, or whatever kind of things you want to do. If you want to go back to this type of snowman or snow person, you could add things like maybe snow hair. And because this is a little different than actually working with snow, you can kind of do whatever your imagination says you can. And one of the fun things I like to do after drawing a snowman, if you have snow in your area or in your neighborhood that's thick and mushy and you can build a snowman, try sculpting some of these things too and see what happens. Sometimes they'll stay, sometimes they won't. The other characters I like from Frozen that are snowmen, which I'm going to add in here, why not, is the little dudes, his little brothers. William and Christopher, and I can't remember all the wonderful names he comes up with. So I'm going to do the same thing that we did with the other snowmen and snow people, because my goodness, I have to make sure we include other snow characters in there, because everybody has fun and does their own thing. Is to draw that second snowball, but you only need 2 because they're so short. They have little tiny snowball feet just like Olaf, and they have little tiny eyes. I'm making this guy look over this way. Maybe he's running off. And I think they have pebbles for their smiles, and you can make those eyes. I'm going to make a little bit of a shiny white part to give it a little bit more life. Sometimes I find just putting that little white dot gives them life. There he is. There's one of the little dudes. Oh my gosh. We're going to overlap and put another little dude. There he is. Go, oh. I feel like maybe I'm also drawing those little woodland spirits from Princess Mononoke. I don't know if that's age appropriate for everyone, but I do love the animation of that. This guy, I'm going to make like he's tripping a little bit. He's so excited. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He's a little sad about it. Okay, I'll save you. Don't worry. You don't have to be sad anymore. This is me talking to my drawings.
That's fine.
Yay, you've been saved. So anything goes here, guys. Having fun talking to your pictures, or painting, or trying to paint with tea, which is something I'm going to be doing later on this week. Look at all the little brothers and sisters. Little snow kids. How is your painting going? Is it going pretty well? Miss Rainbows?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Check it out.
Oh, look at that. That's really cool. Did you mix the colors to get the orange for the carrot?
Yeah.
Oh, what did you use?
I used cadmium red light hue.
Oh, we're going to get the names. This is cool.
And primary yellow.
Primary yellow and cadmium. Cadmium. That was a good try on sounding out that word. Well done. It's not an easy one. Red. Light red.
Hue.
All right. Guess what? It's 4:28.
My goodness.
Which means...
Time flies when you're having fun.
Isn't it true? I have lots of fun, and I can't believe we're done in 30 minutes. It's pretty cool. I'm enjoying it. Maybe while I wait for 2 more minutes, let's see how many colors I can put in here while I'm waiting.
I was gonna put like a hat and mittens and boots on.
Well, you still can.
I'm like, time flies.
You still can if you want to. The nice part is, when you're coloring, it's not going anywhere. You get to come back. You can take your time with it. After a long day on a computer at school, man, let me tell you, getting to paint on your canvas is a lot of fun. And if you're doing this as part of your schooling, thanks for joining us, because we like having fun and learning at the same time.
All these blues are ending up.
I like
making
purple.
my
This character's having a purple scarf. I could totally make this character be my house colors, but I don't want to scare anybody. Purple's my favorite color. I don't know why. I just love purple. I think that as I'm rereading some books with Miss Rainbows here, we're reading some John Beller's books that feature Lewis Burneville, right? Is that his name?
Yeah.
And if you've heard of The House with the Clock in Its Walls, it's one of the books in the series. And we love them. I used to read them when I was little. And
what I find cool is when I'm washing the orange off of my brush, as soon as it hits the water, and then I like paint it on the side of it.
Yeah.
And then before I remove it, it like spreads out into the 2 colors that I used to mix it.
Oh. Yes, well, the thing I was going to say about Lewis is that there's a character in there called Mrs. Zimmerman. She's a witch, right? A good witch, a nice witch, and she loves purple. So it might have been I wanted to be Mrs. Zimmerman when I grew up. One last tip I'm going to give before we close this off, because it's 4:30.
I'm almost finished.
Okay. Is that when you're painting snow, we always think of snow as being white, bright white. But one of the things that you might notice in my picture over here is I used blue. I used a lot of blue actually in that snow. And you'll find looking at snow, you might see other colors, because snow is water and it reflects the light around us. So it can reflect the light of cars that are nearby it. It can reflect the light of the sun coming through the atmosphere, which is usually a blue light. It's kind of cool if you're learning about light and prisms, like Miss Rainbows here is at school. Snow is pretty fascinating because it's frozen water, crystallized frozen water. And it does some really cool things with reflecting the blue light of the sun and makes it sort of blues and purple. So if you're painting a really big wintry scene, you might use a lot more blue and purple than you would actually white to indicate snow.
Fun experiment that I like to do in the summer at the park.
Yeah.
Is that when I'm on the swing.
Yeah.
I'll be swinging, then I'll be looking at the ground because I'm trying to find the blue. The time I can find the blue sand, so it can make sand turn blue.
You can make what?
You can make it look like the sand's turned blue by staring at the sand for a very long time. Then it will start to turn blue because the light of the sun is actually blue when it comes through the atmosphere. So you can see the blue.
Well, the light is actually...
No, well, you can... I don't know, but you can see blue sand.
You can see blue sand. I like that experiment. You're going to have to try that. We're going to have to try that sometime in the spring. We're going to have to stare at the thing. It's because of the light of the sun is going through the atmosphere, and the light reflecting off the water. It's all very cool.
Our spring edition 2021, we should add in a clip at the end of the YouTube video of us staring at the sand to make it go blue.
We probably will. Do you actually want to see us trying this experiment in the springtime? Let us know in the comments below, and we will do it. We will do it. Okay, well, that's what I've got. I'm going to give you time, Miss Rainbows. Ooh, there's my snowman. I'm going to give you time, Miss Rainbows, to finish up your painting off camera. And if you guys did do paintings and want to share them...
do this early in.
Well, go for it. Let me finish up this part. If you guys want to share your paintings or your drawings of what you've done with us today, and they can be any kind of snowmen, snow girls, snow boys, snow dogs, snow chickens, which is another story altogether. I blame snow chickens when I curl for little things that happen on the ice. Whatever you've created, then you can share it with us either through Messenger, DM us, or tag SamMyAndArt. And we would be more than happy to share them in our albums that we're going to put out every Sunday to share what everybody's been doing. So, with that...
Off camera, I might need some help with another tray to get some white.
Okay.
To finish up.
I will help you. Would you like to do in front of the camera? Would you like to look at your camera? Or would you like to just say goodbye as you're doing that? Because I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you so much for joining us. Next week, we are going to do something that we miss, or at least Miss Rainbows misses greatly, is celebrate sleepovers. Because it is National Sleepover Day, and since we can't really do that except with our brothers and sisters and people in our bubble, that we're going to try and draw people sleeping on pillows. And I think it's also popcorn week. We might throw some popcorn in there.
Thank you for watching Draw Me Kids Edition, episode 40, Snowman and Olaf. Come back the same time
next week
at on Wednesday at this very time, and you can see the next one.
Thank you. We'll see you guys.
Hit that notification bell, subscribe, and leave a like.
Thank you, and we appreciate you guys joining us for this round, so we'll see you next time.
Bye.